Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I'm here with my wife. We just got out of the movie theater. We just saw Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Ninja Turtles 2. And we are going to give our review. Now, as we always do, we're going to start our reviews with a spoiler-free section. And then we'll move on to the spoilers. So first, the first half is going to be spoiler-free. So, given a reaction to the movie, what'd you think of the movie?
It was a lot of fun, and it was a nice, nostalgic movie that brought you the Turtles that you enjoyed when you were younger, or that I enjoyed when I was younger, to the big screen in a cool way, I thought.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was the best movie this year so far.
It's Turtles. It's not supposed to be. You enjoy it because you like the Turtles.
Yeah. I enjoyed the, I think it was a much better movie, especially coming off the heels of the last one. A lot of people didn't like the last one. I had mixed feelings about the last one. I
liked it.
The last one was all right. I mean, it was... everybody hated what the Turtles looked like and hated what they changed how they changes the origin.
How do you make them? Well, that was.
It was
all right.
It was unnecessary to change the origin. They didn't need to change what they changed. So, this one I think does a better job of bringing the Turtles together in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
All of the Turtles have a reason for what they do, why they have reservations. I mean, Leonardo's still trying to lead. Donatello still does machines. Raphael is cool but rude. No, he's got an attitude, as he always does. But this time he actually has a reason to be angry. Michelangelo is still the party dude. He's still a space cadet. I love it.
Yeah, he's funny.
And returning cast, because anything that was brought in with the trailers is they still have Vern, who's got his own, his own things going on. April O'Neil, I think, does a better job of actually being part of the team this time.
Yeah.
Like last time, she was like, she was in it because she was Megan Fox, and now I think does a better job.
She gave them their names.
Well, she acts a little bit better now.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like what I think they did a better job with that. They used Stephen Amell for Casey Jones to bring him in without spoiling anything. I like what they did with his story. I like how they brought him in. I like the fact they used what they used for with the mask and the hockey stick. As you see in the trailers. And the storyline I think this one was just more so of like a fun adventure, I think. Instead of being a big it's still a big grandiose thing because it is a movie, but I felt it was kind of like an episode of the old cartoon. It's probably the best way to describe it. It's more like an hour and 40-minute version of an episode of Ninja Turtles, or maybe like one of the miniseries or something like that. And the way they wrap everything up is pretty cool. There's still some things that I have some reservations with. There's still some things that I don't like. The CGI. I mean, a lot of people hate the CGI. I don't like the Turtles' faces. I still don't like what they look like. Like, especially Leonardo. Leonardo's got these weird looking lips that just don't look right on him. And but I will say Splinter looks better this time. I think Splinter. He looked weird last time. This time they made him look more like a rat.
I don't honestly remember what he looked like before.
That's because they made him. I mean, the only problem is that like it seems these turtles don't really have a need for Splinter anymore. Like Splinter could die and it wouldn't make a difference. I mean,
I think they need him. They go to him for advice and he rallies the troops pretty much. He's their dad.
Yeah, he's kind of like the dad that just sits around and just kind of goes, "No, you need to do that. No, yeah, you need to do that." I like the updates to the Foot Clan.
Yeah, they were pretty cool.
They look really cool.
Nice moves.
They're not just guys with machine guns anymore. They're actually ninjas.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of different surprises. I mean, I think one thing that we've seen from the trailers is that, they bring in some new baddies, and they bring in some new, some new stunts and new explosions and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I would probably give this movie. See, here's the thing: it's above average. It's not a great movie. I think it's pretty much like your like preteen. I don't want to say preteen, but like pretty much teenage adventure and just kind of like fun to watch. It's kind of like one of those movies. It's like this is a diversion from everything else that we've watched, from Civil War to, like all these big
not
giant,
so serious, not so dark or brooding. It's just fun, more lighthearted.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. What's that?
I was gonna say the Turtles' personality is a little bit more fun this time too.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say so.
Now, at this point, we're going to move on to spoilers. We're going to do some spoiler talk at this point. If you do not want to be spoiled, you can point to this point at the screen, and it'll click and it'll bring you to the rest of the review that doesn't talk spoilers anymore. So, now talking spoilers, here we go. Bebop and Rocksteady.
I liked them a lot. They were funny to watch. They were just crazy.
I think they brought the whole movie together.
And they were just funny, and I'm trying to think of a good way to describe them. I thought it was perfect they were two of my favorite characters in the original Turtles, and I thought they were perfect. I loved Sheamus from the WWE was in it. I don't really know that I recognize the other guy that played Bebop, but he was perfect too. So purple's one of my favorite colors. He was one of my favorites, but I just like both of them.
He was rocking the mohawk.
Yeah,
but it's kind of funny because they were rocking their outfits, like
their 80s outfits.
Yeah, with the glasses. You're bringing the mohawk back, man. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
For all you people bringing back the mohawk, my word. It's like Storm brought back the mohawk in X-Men.
Hey, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's an 80s thing, and I was actually thinking about it this morning. I wouldn't mind a mohawk.
Oh, dear word. So, I mean, Stephen Amell, what really giving an honest thought about him as Casey Jones. I like that they made him, more modern, trying to make him a cop, so this way he's actually trained, and he plays hockey. So he's already good with that. The only thing is that it's kind of hard to separate him from Arrow, from being the Green Arrow. Yes
and no. He definitely carries a similar anger, but his attitude's very much more. Even though he's supposed to be angry, he seemed a lot more lighthearted, and I guess then he
was more having fun.
Which is good. Arrow can get really dark.
Green Arrow, he's like, it's like, come on, smile a little, will you?
Yeah.
And here he smiled too much. He was just kind of like, yeah, we're gonna beat these guys up, yeah. And it's like, come on,
he's supposed to have anger management issues. What he says, and I I loved what he did in the bar. I felt like that showed who he's supposed to be. The anger management issues he mentioned, like I said, and that showed that whole side of him. But beyond that, it was just, I won't say it was awkward, but I still liked him. I've liked him since, we liked the Arrow and Green Arrow and all that, but I don't think that it was a bad casting or a miscast or anything, but I just wonder if maybe he was almost a little too happy, as angry as he's saying he's supposed to be.
He seemed like it was just he was having a great time in the role.
Probably
it was just probably more what it was, and
you figure he's probably playing with I don't know exactly what they used to show the Turtles and Bebop and Rocksteady. But you figure the only people he's seeing is Megan Fox and Vern, and so whatever else he's playing against, he did a good job. They all did. It always looked like they were looking in the right place, because sometimes that just looks odd because they're playing against CGI, and it worked well, but
I think Megan Fox also, I think, did a better acting job this time around. Last time she seemed to she was a pretty face, and she was always what it was in Transformers, and you know, and the last Turtles
pretty,
movie.
but
right, and she's pretty.
She does always play the pretty face. In this one, even though she does that and uses it and manipulates people
she's
to her
better
advantage,
at it this time around.
That, and I also feel like she was more of a newscaster. She's trying to get the scoop. She's trying to discover the truth and really bring the bad guys to justice. Like, that's... Now, I will say, the one part of the movie I didn't care for, and maybe you disagree, was Shredder. He was a waste.
Only because of, like, what they did with him at the end. I think that's where he was the waste, because he's still a big baddie.
You see the helmet for, like, 5 seconds, and then...
Yeah, he wasn't really the Shredder most of the movie. He's just basically, like...
This ninja that...
Well, at least he's not Robo Shredder.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in the last movie, he was just this supersized robot, and now at least he was the Shredder. He had...
For 5 seconds.
That, I do agree with you there that he wasn't the Shredder. He was more so just kind of like... He was the man in charge up until the end, where Krang usurps him, which that's the other thing, is Krang shows up in this movie. And when he does, it's kind of cool. I like the whole robot that they used, and
it looked so good when you compare it to the original cartoon. I didn't like his voice so much. It was kind of obnoxious to me.
Would you have liked the old voice where it was kind of sounded like he was burping half the time? Like, it was. If you have to hear the old voice again, I guess. Now
that you mentioned it, I do remember it, but I guess because I'm used to that, I prefer it to... He almost just sounded like a weird New Yorker. He had a weird New York accent, almost, I felt like.
Well,
and
I mean, the original...
I have nothing against New York. I love New York. It's one of my favorite places to go. But his accent was just odd. And it was annoying to me. So
it's supposed to be annoying, though. Like, if you listen to the original Krang, it sounds annoying. Like burpy and like weird sounding, like higher and low. Like, the original voice was higher and lower pitches. Yeah, at least this time his voice is consistent.
It's more consistent.
Yeah, I'm understanding what he's saying.
Yeah.
And Tyler Perry is Baxter Stockman, which I think was a great casting.
Yeah.
I like him with the big giant glasses. I like the whole giggles. And I honestly think what we're going to see next is probably the next movie, him become the Fly. I hope that they do something there where, you know, he becomes the Fly that he was in the original movie. I mean, the original TV show, which in the comics, that wasn't the case. In the comics, it was this scrawny little white guy, but in the original comics, it was a black guy, and he would have things like his eye, you know, get cut out, or, you know, like, but he created the Mousers. I wonder if we're going to see Mousers in the next movie. But we don't know. We don't know what we're going to see. At least Baxter Stockman had a big key role, and also Karai kind of did, but she was kind of like this, like, just there.
Yeah, she was just there. She was just Shredder's right-hand woman and just did whatever he asked her to do. She fought a couple times, and that was it.
That bothered me. April and Vern beat her.
Yeah. It just bothered me how in general it was so easy to beat the Foot Clan, to beat her, to beat like everybody. Just throw this and throw that, and I mean the Turtles did it, and you could see they're very technical, and it's cool to watch them all fight, and then they're throwing things and hitting them over the head, and it's like, oh, they just fall to the ground, or Vern runs into one, knocks him right out. Knocks them into like a little storage unit and knocks them out. And
it makes you sit there and wonder, like, how did people...
Why are they training if...
I know. Why do we have trained ninjas? The police can't take them out, but some stupid reporter camera guy can take him out. Like, come on. It's
always just too easy for the right people.
I mean, we don't understand the Turtles are mutants. They're powerful. They're able to actually beat them, you know, even though they're also ninjas as well, you know, but...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which they're not. And that's something that kind of got me, is like at the end, is that they didn't actually call them the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're just
Teenage
brothers.
Alien Ninja
they're
Turtles?
Brothers. Well, they're not alien. I mean, TCRI is is the big corporation that that Baxter Stockman works for, and it is what it is. But like how everything is resolved, it's very quick. The plot line just kind of like resolved itself too quickly. I felt like, I mean, then again, you didn't want the movie to run too long. For
that's
it being
not a
big
movie that. I mean, it's one thing for like a Marvel movie to go long because they're good with the plot. There's always a lot of things going on, sometimes almost too many things going on, but it always works well. This is something that's more lighthearted, and Donnie was able to kind of save the day with his technical knowledge. Krang brought his warship, his warship.
The Technodrome, actually, the update to it is kind of cool. If you guys seen Turtles Forever, the special with the 2003 Turtles, the 87 cartoon Turtles, and the 84 comics Turtles, the update they do to the Technodrome in that is very similar to this Technodrome, where it's a big giant floating space ball. Instead of tank treads and drilling itself underground, the way they do it this time around is actually kind of cool. And the Krang robot is probably one of the coolest like end fight scenes, I think, that we for Ninja Turtles, especially being the last movie was Robo Shredder. I didn't like Robo Shredder last time, so but now at this time we're gonna go back to where we're not talking spoilers, and we're just gonna wrap this up. So if you guys have have plans to see it, if you guys want to see the Ninja Turtles, I do recommend this one especially over the last movie. I didn't care for as much. I mean, I liked it, but it's kind of like one of those kind of things. But I think this was a much better movie overall. So what did you think? I mean, you're
like I said before, it was fun to watch. It was definitely nostalgic. I enjoyed that they threw in some 80s and 90s music in there to really make you feel it, but to bring that factor in. But it was a good movie. I mean, like we said, it's not like the most amazing movie of the year, but it's definitely worth go seeing.
Yeah, I would give it a 7.
Yeah, I was thinking of
probably a 7. It's a fun ride. I think. I mean, it's a good movie to watch.
Yeah.
Bring your 12 and 13-year-old kids who love Ninja Turtles just as much as anybody else. I think they'll get a kick out of it.
There's a little bit of cursing, so if that's an issue, which I highly doubt, but if it is, it's there, just giving you fair warning.
And so I think this wraps up our review. Now I have more videos coming up on my channel coming up soon. I'm probably going to do some more Transformers discussions and video game reviews. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Comment down below what you thought, if you like the Ninja Turtles movie, and subscribe, of course. And as always, guys, until next time.